it's raining, and so it's slow when we're out with the dogs and stuff. So today I'm going to talk about failure and how to use it, okay? So you have to understand that we live in a really goofy reality, all right? And so it's a duality. Don't let anybody ever tell you that it's not a binary universe, live, dead, hot, cold, all of that kind of stuff, right? And yeah, there's gradients, but it's the extremes that define it. So in this world, in this reality, in this materium, you don't ever learn anything by succeeding at anything. The only way a human learns is by failure. And this is true of all life, right? You must fail at it in order for you to stop and say, okay, what the fuck happened? Why didn't that work? And puzzle out what you need to do to make it work. So failure teaches, success does not. Success reinforces. And once you understand this, then you start looking at, okay, in every situation every situation we encounter in which we must participate because there is a decision being made or requested from us by universe, the paths will always be obscured. So it's like that yin-yang symbol, right? So within every set of circumstances, even those that appear to be opposing what you want is actually buried within that. So I was presented in this conversation with this picture of this just absolutely beautiful woman, right? Absolutely. She's like very young at the time. And there's this text that's with it there, basically telling all the men to go piss off, right? That she's so gorgeous, you can't even have a hope in hell. And she was nominally discussing things about this relative to, the men that were hassling her online, right? But within the words itself, if you really look at it, it's actually a barrier. And at the same time, it's an invitation, right? She puts the barrier up there because she wants to screen out all of the trash guys. But she's really kind of desperate that some non-trash guy would approach her and overcome the barriers that she has placed there. And she may deny this, but the language sure does indicate that, right? And it's the way it is with almost everything for humans here, and that is that what you want or your goal you'll be faced with all of these barriers. That's the whole point of this reality, is to see what you will do, to see what will actually happen. Not what could happen, not what may happen or what might happen, but what will actually happen based on the individuals and so on right there. Because our universe seeks this certainty, there will never, ever be time travel as we might imagine, because time travel would allow you to do things that would cause undoing and reversibility. And universe can't have that. The materium cannot have reversibility. In fact, it is designed, and we can see that, with irreversibility. And the idea of any form of time travel is fantasy. So, and also the energetic aspect of it. It takes too much energy to shove a single molecule of hydrogen back 1 second in time, right? A bunch of people have calculated that. Vernansky went at it one way, and Richard Feynman went at it another. And Feynman's conclusion was that it would take 7 or 8 times the amount of energy in the available universe to shove one hydrogen ion back 1 full second in time. And it doesn't really matter if it's a full second or it's a millisecond. You're just not going to be able to do it, and the energy barrier is there all the way around. The point being that our social order, or our materium, informs our social order, right? So the fact that we can't go back and undo stuff, however much fantasy that is out there, and these people thinking that's possible, all the nut job, butthead, Corey Good kind of guys, 20 and back, all of this sort of horseshit. All of that aside, the universe wants you to understand that there is irrevocability about every one of your actions. As soon as you take that action, it's done. You can't undo it, right? You can apologize for being a butthead and a shit and getting it wrong, but really that's the whole point, is to learn And you don't learn by success. You only learn by failure. When you say, uh-oh, that didn't work, and then if you're smart, you try it again in a different approach, right? As opposed to abandoning it. But everything within our universe is actually set up to have failure teach you and success reinforce that teaching. It's a goofy reality in that sense, that everything is the opposite of what it is presented to you as within its core. And so, in like the martial arts, the person that is attacking you is actually your partner in this contention. And their actions provide for you, if you're a smart martial artist, they provide for you the pivot points upon which you will act. So your enemy in that sense, the uke, the guy you're going to be flipping around there, is giving you what you need to be effective in that particular point of contention. As the women will do that to the guys, right? Listen to their language, even when they're telling you that, go away, don't bother me, and so on, right? If you listen to their language, you'll get hints about what's coming out of it, really. Look for those undercurrents. Because maybe it's just like this one woman saying, you have to prove yourself worthy, This is what, like that, basically all of the fairy tales and this sort of thing, right? The Rapunzel, she's up there knitting at the top of a tower and lowers her hair. Well, the barrier there is the tower. She's cooperating. She's providing you the access, but you have to achieve it. You've got to do it. So it's, you have to expend the energy, and you have to understand you will fail. And it's like, okay, no big deal, right? You will be rebuffed. No big deal. It's not like she's actually took a knife and plunged it into you, however much your mind may be trying to make you think that is the case. This is a case of you must overcome if you want that goal. And this is, all of life is this way. So, get used to it kind of thing. It's a goofy reality. Humanity has been beset by this woke mind virus shit, the infiltrators, the communists, all of this kind of stuff for many hundreds of years. The Elohim worship cult has been fucking with us for thousands of years, and we're at this shift of the ages where all of that is changing. And the uke here, the people we're going to throw, the bad guys, the Satanists, the Elohim worship cult, the mother weffers, all of these guys are in the process of providing us pivot points to flip them into the dustbin of history, and slap the lid on it and send them on their way. Doesn't mean we're going to be without contention, because then universe is going to provide us the next level of contention. It's like a video game in that regard. Once we succeed at one level, it has to challenge us and present us with more potential for failure, because we don't learn through success. And if you examine your own life, you'll see that's the case. Anything you ever learned came at a cost of you having failed. And the more difficult it is, the more often you're going to fail. The greater the prize, the larger the barriers. It's just the way this shit works out. And so once you make up your mind, and once you understand this, then you can come to a couple of conclusions that will aid you in your pursuit of reality here, right? And that is that failure doesn't kill you, right? It doesn't. It's she bitch slaps you and pushes you down and all of that kind of stuff. But it's just an opportunity for you to prove that you can get up on your feet and do it. And that's what she wants to see, because she's not going to go with some weak guy, right? That's basically how all of our reality works. If you want that prize, if you want to get that, golden skull out of there, you got to risk that long tunnel with the spikes and the snakes and the spiders and stuff, right? And you need to get the gold. So you've got to extend yourself in order to achieve. In order to know you can do that, you must have had a long history of failure, because that's the only way you learn to get to that point. So basically the message here is that failure teaches and success reinforces. Therefore, a wise man will learn to be very, very good at failing.